We just kind of want to turn your attention to a pretty serious topic. Something that is really grabbing the headlines. They're called opioids. And I don't know about you, but I'd never really heard a lot about it. And I don't know about you at home. Can you kind of enlighten us a little bit? What are they and why is it kind of sweeping the nation, Cheryl?
Absolutely. Well, you know, opioids are prescription painkillers, something your doctor might give you for surgery or something else. It's some kind of pain that you're in, and people are abusing them, and they're so dangerous. You've probably seen in the newspaper some of these headlines that we've seen. The provinces are working together to try to come up with a plan. You know, Joe, just in BC alone, and they've really been hardest hit by this, especially with fentanyl, which is a kind of painkiller. They've had 622 deaths so far just this year.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
unacceptable.
I mean, a lot of people don't even know this is happening. Part of it is just the doctors are prescribing so many painkillers so easily. There's one prescription for every 2 Canadians last year, basically, of these painkillers. And you know, if you leave them in your car, people can break in and steal them. You can sell them on the black market. People do that as well. And it's just incredibly dangerous.
Okay, so they're not illegal themselves, but people are kind of abusing them and using them for the wrong reasons.
Because, well, they're, you know, in a sense, you have to have a prescription and a real reason for them,
Right.
and you don't have them. And then people are obviously taking too many, and they're dying from it. Fentanyl especially is so deadly. And, you know, we've been talking about this for a while here on this program. It's been going on for a while, but it's just getting worse and worse. We actually did an entire documentary about it called Painkillers. And we just want to show you an excerpt from it today, answering the question, why are opioids or prescription painkillers so addictive and potentially deadly? Take a listen.
Our body immediately, when it metabolizes a medication like an opiate or another drug like, say, cocaine, we can develop an instantaneous addiction to that. Our body senses the pleasure, and that's where all addiction centers, in the pleasure system in the brain, similar to we enjoy good food and sugar and social camaraderie with individuals. Problem is that our brain puts it in a much more important category than food or social interaction.
Best available evidence right now suggests that about 1/3 of people who begin these drugs come to misuse them at some point or display some feature consistent with aberrant drug use. As the dose goes up, then we see the dependence and the risk of addiction and the risk of respiratory depression, the slowing of the drive to breathe, which is largely responsible for the deaths that we see.
Wow, that's unbelievable. He used a phrase there. He said there's like an instantaneous addiction to your brain the moment you get on these opioids, these kind of painkillers.
Isn't that crazy? Because what if somebody slips something into your drink, or you know, you think you're taking something else, which is happening, they're making it look like other drugs. You might think you're taking something else, and then your life is ruined. It would seem so. We, of course, know many people who've come on this program who've been free of drug abuse. I'm going to tell you a little story just right after this, but first, we're going to hear the story of Sherry Rubin. From the documentary. She tells the story of how her son, Aaron, got addicted on opioids and what happened.
I would say the very first supplier that Aaron had for prescription drugs was a father who helped out on the coaching team at Poway High School. He would use multiple different types of pills, and mostly the Xanax, Vicodin, Somas.
By college, Aaron's drug use worsened.
He finally came to us and said, you know, I have a drug issue. I really need help.
In spite of numerous attempts to get clean, Aaron's drug use continued. When he didn't come home after a party at a friend's house, his parents tried calling him.
There was no response, but his cell phone ringing alerted the mom. She saw him on the couch, blue and non-responsive. She punched on his chest. She went to the freezer and took ice out and threw it on him. At this point, Aaron's not breathing, and the father and son, dragging him to the car, brought him to the emergency room. They called our cell phone and told us that Aaron wasn't breathing and that we needed to get to the hospital. When we arrived at the hospital, the doctor was very confused and had no idea why Aaron was lifeless. And my husband started screaming, "It's drugs, it's drugs, it's drugs." Aaron suffered a heart attack and 2 strokes front and back, both sides of his brain. That's what opioids do.
You know, friends, this is an incredibly serious issue, and I know that we're coming up to the Christmas season, and you know, people are talking about, you know, festivities and all these things that are going on, but underlying all that, people are in pain, and sometimes people who don't know God, they're turning to these drugs to try and find relief. They're trying to find answers. And maybe it's you today. Maybe you've kind of just tuned into the channel today and you just, what's the show all about? And you're hearing about this addiction that's sweeping across our country. Maybe it's not you. Maybe you know somebody, maybe in your family who's struggling with this. And I just want to invite you. I want you to know that there are people here at the Crossroads Center at 100 Huntley Street who are here to pray with you. There's a phone number there on the bottom of your screen, 1-866-273-4444. Know that there will be people here always to pray with you.